Welcome, Sir George. Lady Stubbs.
Good evening, Sir George.
Good evening.
I'm so thankful you're here at last.
A shocking night. How did she get straight to bed or she'll catch a chill?
Come along, my dear.
Come at once. Nurse House, Devon. Need help. Urgent. Ariadne Oliver.
You been here before, sir?
No.
Take the scenic route along the river, shall I?
No, merci.
Afternoon, ladies. You don't mind, do you, sir? Foreigners, see? Can't read a map.
Buongiorno.
Mademoiselle.
Thank you. It is most kind, please.
Grazie.
Miles yet to the youth hostel?
Oh, her is not speaks English. We met first time this morning on the platform at Exeter. And now we are big friends. We explore Devon together.
I could show you a few beauty spots, if you like. The hostel's that way. Don't cross Sir George's land, though. You don't like it.
Grazie mille.
Thank you, Stan.
If you please, may we hurry?
Welcome to Mass, monsieur. I believe Mrs. Oliver to be down by the battery, sir, that way.
Someone! Quick! Oh, hello, Poaro.
What is wrong, madame?
Nothing's wrong. I just wanted to see if someone would come. How loudly one might have to shout. These woods are frightfully dense.
I thought you were in danger.
Certainly not. How are you, Poaro?
Un peu énervé. Chère madame. You telegraphed to me that you need help, and for this reason I come by the express from London.
Well, I do need help. I'm most awfully worried. There are some very strange people here. Very strange indeed. They're holding a fete tomorrow, and they thought they'd have a treasure hunt. Then they thought, no, that's been done to death. So they thought they'd have a murder hunt instead. And they offered me a tidy sum to come and dream it up. Well, anything's better than writing. So I've been busily inventing motives and suspects and victims and so forth. And it costs a bob to enter, and all you get for that is the first clue. Good fun.
Madame, Poirot, he has arrived to Devon. Mais pourquoi?
Because there's something amiss. I think someone's going to die. If there were to be a real murder tomorrow instead of a fake one, I shouldn't be in the least surprised.
Whose idea was it, this murder hunt?
The Warburtons, I think.
Well, the owners of the property.
No, that's Sir George Stubbs. Awfully rich and awfully common. Bought the place a year or so ago, along with his wife, who's outrageously beautiful, but as dumb as a fish. The corpse will be in here. Sally Legg was going to do it, but now they want her to dress up in a turban and tell fortunes. So it's a girl guide called Marlene Tucker. Hideous child. Just has to sit here and read comics. I've written a clue on one of them and flop down when she hears someone coming with this around her neck.
Hello. I brought lemonade.
Oh, that is most kind, Miss Bruce.
Good afternoon, sir.
Mademoiselle.
Lady Stubbs must be rushed off her feet with all the preparations. Do thank her for the drinks.
Lady Stubbs has one of her headaches. She's not yet up.
I've planned every detail and it all dovetails nicely. But things keep changing. The fortune-telling's a good example. I feel I'm being jockeyed along.
Jockeyed along?
Manipulated.
So someone is making the suggestion?
Writers can't stand suggestions. If you suggest something, we do exactly the opposite. But I am being jockeyed along. And I can't figure out how. Tell the truth, I'm worried.
Perhaps the big suggestion that is put on, to which you, of course, say no because it is preposterous. But then, an idea most trivial may be found to have been smuggled in.
Yes, something like that, yes.
Who is making these alterations?
Different people. It'd be easier if it were just one, wouldn't it?
And you have told to them that Hercule Poirot, he is coming?
Yes, I said you'd be giving away the prizes for the murder hunt. Everyone's thrilled.
Mrs. Oliver! Hang on, I'll walk up with you.
All safe, sir? It's Michael Wayman, an architect.
I'm meant to be designing a tennis pavilion. Do you know what he's asked for? A Chinese pagoda. Self-made men. Stinking with money, but with no taste whatsoever. For instance, look at this. It's quite nice, of its kind. Well, in keeping with the house. But these things are meant to be, what's the phrase? Situated on an eminence. And here's this poor little devil tucked away in the woods.
Perhaps there wasn't anywhere else.
What about the grassy bank by the house? It's perfect, but no. A tree comes down in a gale. Right as the self-made twerp will put the folly there. Tidy up the place. Look, it's only on a yard of concrete, subsiding already. These people are extraordinary.
That's Amy Folliard. Her people owned Nass originally. Then she lost both her sons, had to sell up.
And yet she lives here still?
Precisely. Odd or what?
Is this the great Monsieur Poirot?
Enchanté, Madame Folliard.
It is kind of you to help out with our prizes. This clever lady has contrived a most intricate problem.
I have been admiring the house.
I thank you. It was built by my husband's great-grandfather. There was an Elizabethan manor before, but it burned down.
It must be hard for you to have strangers living in residence now.
Well, so many things are hard, monsieur. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll see if they have your room ready.
What do you think?
Comment? It is only one instant since I have arrived.
Well, I've been here 3 days, and every time someone says something, I get the strongest impression they're lying. My intuition tells me something is wrong.
Allah.
I'm well aware you think me irrational.
Madame, one calls things by different names, huh? It may indeed be that you have seen something. It may indeed be that you have heard something. And it may be, if I may so put it, that you do not know what it is that you know. You are aware only of the result. And that, Madame, it is your intuition.
Whatever it is, I feel certain someone is going to die. We must do something about it.
Poirot, is it?
Oui?
Welcome, welcome, old man.
Oh, merci, monsieur.
Yes, George Stubbs. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm delighted you could come. Yes, let me introduce you to some people.
The fortune telling. Over by the magnolia, or at the far end of the lawn by the rhododendrons. What do you think?
By the magnolia? My tent can't go by the magnolia. It will cause a bottleneck. Rubbish. Down at the end, please, Captain.
What about the coconut shy?
Yes, not too near the house, Jim. I've just replaced the windows.
Fair point.
Now, may I introduce famous gent, Hercule Poirot.
Yes, indeed, Monsieur Poirot.
Captain and Mrs. Warburton.
Hello there.
Captain.
Delighted.
Madame.
Yes, and Alec and Sally Legg.
Monsieur. Madame.
We'll find you a job later on.
Watch out, Poirot. Sally can make a man do anything, what? Yes. So come and meet the wife.
Excuse me.
Hattie. This is Mr. Poirot. He's our guest.
Madame.
Now, you chat nicely while I go and locate some coconuts.
Oh.
Right.
Do you mind if I sit down, madame? So much walking. Merci.
It's pretty, isn't it?
Très joli.
It's an emerald. George gave it to me. He gives me lots of things.
Devonshire is a county most pleasant, n'est-ce pas?
It is when it isn't raining, but there aren't any nightclubs.
Ah bon, you like the nightclub?
Oh, yes. I love music and dancing and champagne and wearing my nicest clothes and all my jewels. It's best to be rich, isn't it? Perhaps if I was not rich, I should look like her. Imagine.
Tea, my lady.
Tea is stupid.
Perhaps our guest would like some Hattie. Shall I be mother?
Is it going to be like Ascot tomorrow? I can wear a very big hat.
Not quite like Ascot, dear. There's so much to do. You really should be helping out instead of staying in bed till after lunch.
I've got a new dress. Oh, come and see.
We're just having a cup of tea.
No, come with me. Come now.
Oh, very well. Please excuse us. You really must like to be polite.
Beautiful creature, isn't she? See that ring George bought her? Whether he spotted she's away with the fairies, couldn't say. But then he's hardly an intellectual himself, is he?
Sir George is inside the stocks and shares, I believe.
Yes. Not exactly a gentleman's game, what?
But still, you are the friends.
Good grief, no choice. Not with an election coming up.
Jim, you've got to settle this. We agreed my tent should be at the far end by the rhododendrons. It's the only place.
My wife doesn't think so.
You're a member of Parliament. Show her who's boss.
You out of your mind? All right, see what I can do. Best not to cross.
Have you seen Amy Folliot?
I believe that Madame Folliot is inside with the Lady Stubbs. She seems to be most solicitous towards her.
Ah, yes, well, she was Hattie's guardian. Before I walked her up the aisle, of course. Her people were in sugar in the Caribbean. But there was a typhus epidemic, and both her mother and her father lost their lives. Rotten bloody luck, actually. But Amy Folliot was a friend of the family and took young Hattie under the wing.
Oh, that is commendable.
She's a damn good egg, actually. Ah, Amanda, there you are. I want you to go and order some wire fencing straight away, please.
I don't think you're allowed to pen people in the tea tent, sir.
Not the tea tent, dear. No. Over there in the woods where they're coming through, they just keep wandering in.
Who are?
Trespassers, foreigners, cutting through, you see, Poirot, through to the ferry. Girls in little short trousers.
Oh, oui, d'accord. The trousers of the girls are.
Exactly.
I have a gentleman on the telephone with coconuts.
Right, the coconuts, yes. Right, so, how many's he got?
As many as you like, sir.
Look at them all buzzing around. Busy, busy bees. The world's going to pot and they're holding A garden party.
Une fête du jardin? But that is an activity honored by time, monsieur.
The apathy of these people. They're all feeble-minded. Do you know what I'd like to see done in this country? I'd like to see every feeble-minded person put out. Don't let them breed. Finish them off. All the simpletons.
How would you do that, Monsieur Lake?
Oh, I'm a chemist. I could do it easily.
Any theories?
Everybody seems to me to be completely normal.
You're trying to be amusing.
Perhaps that is not the right word. Lady Stubbs, it appears, is subnormal. Alec Legg, abnormal.
Oh, he's all right. He's just having a nervous breakdown.
But everyone seems in a state of agitation, which I believe is characteristic of the preparations for a fete in England.
Mrs. Oliver, your corpse is here.
Ah, hello, Marlene.
Remember, a guide is honest, reliable, and can be trusted. Can you come and have a look at her costume?
I was going to be stabbed. Now she says I'm going to be strangled. That's not fair.
This gentleman knows all about murder. Why don't you ask him?
Seen a lot of killings, have you?
One or two, mademoiselle, oui.
Any sex maniacs? I like sex maniacs. I've read about them.
I do not think you would like to meet one.
If someone leaves a woman's body in the woods with no clothes on, dead like, he's liable to be a sex maniac, isn't he?
That would be an assumption most reasonable.
That's what my granddad said. But he's daft, so no one believes him.
Marlene, come and try your costume.
You permit, madame?
I'm so sorry Hattie dragged me off earlier. It was rude of her.
Lady Stubbs is a little, common on the capricious.
Hattie is a dear, good child. I know her very well, you see.
Because she was once your ward.
My husband died in Flanders. My elder son was killed on active service against the Pashtun. And to cap a sorry tale, my younger son took up aviation and crashed, trying to break the record to Nairobi. Oh. That meant 3 lots of death duties. Well, Nass had to be sold. I was very unhappy, and I was glad of the distraction of having a young person to look after. For a time we lived in Paris. My, we had fun. I became very fond of Hattie. All the more so when I realized that she was not terribly capable. Thank heaven there was no money to speak of. Had she been an heiress, I'd like to think how vulnerable she might have been. But her father died bankrupt, and we felt ourselves fortunate when George Stubbs came along.
It was most fortunate indeed.
George Stubbs is a good man. Oh, I know he's a complete vulgarian, but he is fundamentally decent.
Well, I think that you have made the arrangement most prudent, madame. I am not like the English or romantic about these matters. Et voici, here you are, still at Nass House.
Sir George lets me live in the lodge, and I count myself very lucky.
Indeed, you have found for yourself a haven most peaceful, madame.
A haven from the storm, yes. The world is a wicked place, Monsieur Poaro. There are very wicked people in it. Thank you.
what do you want me to put on this poster? Madame Zuleika or Romany Lee, Gypsy Queen?
No one likes gypsies round here. Better make it Madame Zuleika.
That snake around her neck, what?
Snake in the grass.
I had a snake once, but it swallowed the rabbit. Had to chop it up. Quite good fun.
Do you still paint, Michael? Like you used to?
Sold out, Sally. 30 pieces of silver.
Everyone has to earn a living.
What, in Parliament, Jim? That's not really an honest living, now, is it?
What?
Waste of time, Parliament.
Don't be such a rotten old sulk.
Why, Alec has a point. What do you think, Mrs. Oliver? Should all politicians be eliminated?
Eliminated? I don't know. They make ever such good suspects as a rule.
They certainly do. I mean, just look at my husband. You couldn't get more shifty if you tried.
Excuse me, I'm going to bed.
Patty?
I feel strange.
Darling, we're at dinner. What?
Oh, Lady Stubbs has gone early to bed?
Malheureusement, oui. She suffers perhaps from the mental confusion.
Oh, no. She knows exactly what she's doing.
What do you think? I think, madame, that I take the little walk. Monsieur?
Do you want the ferry, sir?
Oh, no. No, merci. I stay at Nass.
Oh, 'tis up at Nass you are?
Right.
I worked for the Folliats many a year. None of them left now, of course, except old Mum up at the lodge. Met her, have you?
Madame Folliat? Oui.
Bad luck hers had. Trouble with her husband, trouble with her sons. They were all right when they was boys, always down here crabbing, but when they grows up, phew. Master Henry, he died for his country, fair dues, but Master James, he was wild. One of they as couldn't go straight, but he was vexing, Master James. Aeroplanes, flying. That's no way to die.
No, indeed. Alors, what is your opinion of Sir George? Oh, pardon, Monsieur...
John Myrtle.
Monsieur Myrtle? Oh, no, merci.
Gentleman be powerful rich. Wife's a fine lady from London. There, I remember the night they arrived. Worst gale we ever had. Big tree down in the woods made a rare mess.
Where the Folly it now stands?
Ah, damn silly place for it, too. Never happened in Squire's day, London nonsense.
It is sad, is it not, that the time for the Folliot family it is finished?
Always be Folliats at Nass.
Monsieur?
Old Mum shall be here, ain't she? Good night, sir.
Bonne nuit.
Now, here are some new ideas for the pagoda. What do you think? See?
Oh, no.
What is it, darling?
It's from my cousin Etienne. He's coming here. He's coming in his yacht.
Oh.
No.
Oh, may I see? Who is this Etienne de Souza?
A distant cousin. He says he's coming here today.
Well, it's a pity he's dropping by in the afternoon of the fete, but never mind. We shall make him welcome.
No, we can't.
can't! Oh, I need to lie down. I have a headache!
Hattie, dear.
Take some aspirin and then it will go away. Shall I bring you some?
No!
Sweetheart, excuse me. Oh, Hattie, darling.
I don't want to see Etienne. I don't like him. He's wicked. He does bad things.
No, Rogers, put the urn on the left.
Right, Mum.
The left.
Oh, the left.
Oh. Hello, Poirot.
Bonjour, madame. What a beautiful day.
Yes. And isn't it nice to have Lass lived in again? We were all so afraid it would become an hotel. So many houses have. AA 3 stars and what have you. Ghastly. I must say, George Stubbs has done wonders for the place. He's got good blood in him, somewhere. Father a gent and mother a barmaid, that's my guess. I see she got her way with the fortune teller's tent.
No. No, you're trespassing. You can't come through here. Do you understand? The youth hostel is that way. This is private land. Hop it. This won't do. Poirot, might I meet you in the study? What's that, Hattie? Yes, I'll shut it. Well, I put a padlock on the gate, but they come through the wood. They don't seem to understand a word I'm talking about. They just jabber on in Dutch or French or whatever.
One of them was, I think, Italian.
Well, precisely, yes, foreign. Poirot, will you answer me a question with the benefit of all your experience?
Most certainly, monsieur, I will try.
Is Michael Wayman after my wife?
Monsieur?
Oh, she's behaving damn oddly. All these headaches and this constant lying down, and every time I look at her, there's Michael bloody Wayman hovering nearby. Sorry, I'm just being pathetic, but, if you should see her getting up to anything, I mean, anything at all, you will let me know.
You look ridiculous.
Everybody this way. Come along. Gather round, please. Now I declare the garden fete open. Bravo!
Madame, let us separate. We shall watch with the peel down.
Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Hopper. Yes, it's just like old times. Isn't it the greatest success? I've restocked with floribundus.
Just one small bomb would do it.
Here, sir, you look lucky. It's for charity, sir.
Children's fancy dress. Form up, please. All the fires.
You've won. Well done. Congratulations, sir.
Here's the first clue. It's a photograph. Work out what it is, and you'll get the second clue. Good luck.
I see you're enjoying yourself.
It is most horrible, is it not?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new champion.
Little girl, a petit cadeau pour toi, hein?
Thank you.
Anything? No. As far as I can tell, they're all just enjoying themselves, which is a little galling.
Oh, good to see you. Bonjour, mademoiselle. You come also to the fete?
Oh, it is so fun. My friend comes later, and then we go by bus to Turkey. You remember my friend?
Oh, oui, I saw it this morning.
Oh, yes, the man was rude. Now he is polite.
Ah, Mademoiselle Bruce.
Someone's made a speedy recovery.
Madame, that which you wear on your head, it is a creation most beautiful. Like something from the royal ascot, n'est-ce pas?
You will make a long journey, possibly by train. I see a luxurious train. And great riches will be yours at the end of your quest.
Madame Oliver told me that originally you were to be the victim, but that you had been snatched from her by the occult.
I wish I was the body. Oh, this was exhausting. Is it 4 o'clock yet? I want my tea.
What do you think?
Je crois que vous avez raison. There is something that is incongru.
Yes. And a murder hunt would be awfully convenient if you wanted to conceal a murder, wouldn't it?
But a murder, madame, requires a victim. So who is this victim? This is what we must discover.
I say, seen Lady Stubbs? She's meant to be judging the fancy dress.
No.
What's the woman playing at? I shall have to get someone else.
Has anyone seen Lady Stubbs?
Sally.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Is this the house of Sir George Stubbs?
Oui, d'accord.
I am Etienne de Souza.
Ah, enchanté, monsieur. I am Hercule Poirot.
To Sousa, is it? George Stubbs.
Good day to you.
Yes, a jolly busy one, actually. You know, welcome to Nass, and delighted to meet you.
My cousin Hattie is here?
Yes, yes. Yes, she is. You will dine with us this evening, I hope. Can we put you up?
I will sleep on my yacht, the Esperance.
Now, with the devil is my wife. You hang on here, and I'll be straight back.
So it is some time since last you saw your cousin?
I have not seen her since she was 14 years old.
Ah.
Then her parents sadly died, and she was sent abroad. As a child, she promised to have good looks.
She is a woman most beautiful, monsieur.
And that is her husband.
Lady Stubbs, have you seen Lady Stubbs? Have you seen my wife, Lady Stubbs?
Has anyone seen Lady Stubbs?
You haven't seen Lady Stubbs, have you? Big hat and the sunglasses.
She seems to have completely disappeared.
I feel certain someone is going to die.
Lady Stubbs? No.
I saw her last at Gareth.
The world is a wicked place, Monsieur Poirot.
Have you seen Lady Stubbs? Hattie! Have you seen Lady Stubbs?
Lady Stubbs, you haven't seen her, have you? You don't know where she is?
Lady Stubbs, she has disappeared. They look everywhere. She is gone. So where can she be? Anyone think of the boathouse? Oh.
It's locked. To make sure nobody finds the body by accident. It's rather brilliant, don't you think? Marlene, it's Mrs. Oliver. I'm coming in. Marlene, you can get up. It's only me. Marlene? Marlene?
That what you have feared has happened, Mother. Elle est morte.
You don't mean... You don't mean... Oh, Marlene.
Marlene Tucker, local girl. Garroted with a length of rope
Doctor says she's still warm. Dead no more than an hour.
So the killer isn't far away.
I dare say. But who'd want to murder a 14-year-old child?
Johnny goes with Kate. Georgie pinches hikers in the wood.
So George Stubbs.
I'll need a room, sir. And I want to question both yourself and Lady Stubbs, I'm afraid.
Yes, of course, but my wife seems to have disappeared from view. We'll find her eventually, but I doubt she'll be much help.
I feel awful. Put that in capital letters. Awful. Because, you see, it's my murder. I organized it. I don't usually drink, but Poirot gave me this for the shock.
Did you say Poirot? I don't suppose you remember me, Monsieur Poirot?
Most assuredly. It is the young Sergeant Bland, whom I met, it is now since 14, 15 years, in Gloucestershire.
What a memory.
I cannot for the life of me remember why I should ever have wanted the Yugoslavian wife of a biochemist to be the victim. And I wasn't expecting a man in a yacht.
What man in a yacht?
He sent a letter to Lady Stubbs, and she was frightened.
Frightened of what?
Frightened of him. And now she's disappeared.
Can you tell me anything about a man and a yacht?
Oui, bien sûr. Etienne de Souza, the cousin of Lady Stubbs.
Who was afraid of this Etienne de Souza? Do you know why?
I heard her say he was a bad man.
Do you think her fear was real?
If it was not, she is an actress, very clever.
You came ashore in a launch at Nascombe Quay. Did you see a small wooden boathouse on your way?
Yes, and had I known it belonged to Nass House, I should have come ashore there, but I did not.
Did you see any signs of activity?
In the boathouse? No.
Originally, the part of the victim was to have been played by Sally Legg. But one evening, Sally told all our fortunes, and she was thought to be strikingly good at it. Someone suggested one of the girl guides could be the corpse instead, so Sally became Madame Zuleika.
Was Marlene Tucker happy to be the victim?
Oh, she was thrilled.
I noticed a plate and a glass.
Yes, she had some jam tarts and a fruit drink. I took the tray down myself. Lady Stubbs asked me to.
Right. What time exactly?
Oh, let's see. I'd say about 4:15.
Where were you between 4:15 and 5 o'clock?
How do you pin it down so exactly?
Well, Miss Brewis saw Marlene at 4:15. Lady Stubbs asked her to take down some food and drink to the boathouse.
Well, Lady Stubbs asked her to do that. Hardly think so. Lady Stubbs's mind revolves entirely around herself. Marlene could die of malnutrition for all she'd care.
At 4:15, Marlene Tucker was alive and well.
Oh, yes. I called out and she opened the door. She was fine. Moronic, but fine.
Do you enjoy working for Sir George?
I can't imagine doing anything else.
Now, you listen here, Blunt. Now, you simply got to do something. My wife has been missing for 2 hours. I am going half mad with worry.
I've got men looking into it. We do have a murder to deal with, sir.
Well, let's hope it's not 2, then.
This is a murder investigation. So, would you answer my question, please, sir? Where were you this afternoon?
I went to the pub, across the river. Working for these lunatics has driven me to drink.
How well do you know your cousin?
My second cousin. I don't know her well.
And yet you just thought you'd pay her a surprise visit.
Hardly a surprise visit, Inspector. I wrote to her 3 weeks ago from St. Malo. I said I hope to arrive in Nascombe around about today. It is hard to be specific on a sailboat.
Did she reply?
To be frank with you, gentlemen, I don't think Cousin Hattie has the mental capacity for writing letters, though I understand she has grown into a lovely woman.
Hadn't you seen her?
No, I have not. Where is she?
She's probably just gone for a walk. She's a grown woman.
Rather a helpless one, by all accounts.
Yes, when she wants to be.
Tell me everything you know about Lady Stubbs. How would you describe her?
I describe her as ornamental, like a trefoil or a croquet, pretty, but useless.
Backward?
Backward? No. Cunning little minx.
She didn't leave by boat. The road was closed. I reckon she's still on the property somewhere, sir.
Why? Nothing to stop her hopping across a fence and making off across country.
Madam was wearing a bias-cut chiffon dress with double rouleau straps, whatever that is, a large red hat and shoes with 3-inch heels. I don't think she'll be doing no cross-country run.
Well, she could have changed her clothes.
Her maid says nothing's missing. No suitcase packed, nothing.
Lady, stop! Lady, stop! Lady, stop!
Hoskins, stand the man down.
Uh-huh, very well, sir.
Inspector Bland. Poirot, he should have prevented the murder of Marlene Tucker. The least he can do is to find the killer. Si vous permettez, I would like to help.
Anything?
No, sir. Sorry. Sir George, there is something I should like to ask you. Did your wife receive a letter from Mr. de Souza 3 weeks ago saying he was coming to this country?
No, and he heard the man was arriving this morning.
Well, why does she dread seeing him so much?
Why? Blessed if I know.
Monsieur, exactly what did she say?
She said he kills people. Well, she couldn't actually say who de Souza was supposed to have killed, or where, or why. You know, but don't tell me he arrives here off his yacht and immediately strangles a girl in my boathouse. It doesn't make any sense.
Sir George, the door to the boathouse, it has the Yale lock, oui?
Yeah.
So no one may enter without a key? So if you permit me to ask, there are how many keys?
3.
And one was a clue in the murder hunt and concealed in some foliage at the top of the garden. The second key was in the possession of Mrs. Oliver. Where's the third key?
It's here. Where? It always is.
Now, do you see what that means? The only people who could have got into the boathouse were firstly the person who completed the murder hunt and found the key, which didn't happen. Secondly, Mrs. Oliver, or someone to whom she gave her key, which she says didn't happen and Poirot was with her.
Right.
Or thirdly, someone who Marlene herself admitted to the room.
But that could be anyone out of 200 or 300 people, couldn't it?
No, Sir George. Because when the girl heard someone to approach, she was to lie down and pretend to be dead. She was to be discovered by the person who had found the final clue, the key. Therefore, the only other people whom she could have admitted when they called to her from the outside were those people who had organized this murder hunt.
Yourself, Lady Stubbs, Miss Brewis, Mrs. Oliver. Who else did Marlene know, Sir George?
All right. Alec and Sally Legg, Michael Wayman, the Warburtons, oh, and Mrs. Folliott.
Sorry.
It is as you said to me yesterday, Madame. A word that is very wicked.
Well, it's true.
This morning, Lady Stubbs, she also spoke of wickedness.
I shouldn't pay too much attention to the things Hattie says.
No, so everyone tells to me. She has always had the mental age of a child. As you know, Madame, such people are not always accountable for their actions. In a fit of rage, they might even kill.
No! Hattie was a gentle, warm-hearted girl. She would never have killed anyone, never!
Then can you think who might have killed Marlene Tucker?
No, I can't.
What can you tell me about the local people? Captain Warburton?
He was working hard at the fete all afternoon.
Mrs. Warburton?
Enid Warburton runs the Girl Guides and the Gymkhana. She's clearly beyond reproach.
And the Leggs, what do you know about them?
They're just holidaying here.
Madame Legge, she is a lady most attractive, n'est-ce pas?
Vivacious.
Oui. Is it possible, do you think, that at any time Sir George Stubbs felt the attractions to Madame Legge?
Good heavens, no. Sir George is extremely fond of his wife.
Was it you or Lady Stubbs who asked Miss Brewers to take jam tarts down to the girl in the boathouse?
Goodness, all these questions. I remember Miss Brewers collecting some cakes, but I don't recall that anyone asked her to do so.
You were serving in the tea tent between 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock. I believe Mrs. Legge came in there at that time for a tea?
No, she didn't. She was dressed as Madame Zuleika, remember? She never set foot in the tea tent.
Sorry it's so late, Mrs. Legge. Please, tell me when you last saw Lady Stubbs.
I think when I came out of my tent to go and have tea. I remember a hat. Massive, wasn't it?
When did you take your tea?
4 o'clock.
In the tea tent? Was it crowded?
Yes, awfully. Coach party from Torquay.
Did you see anyone you knew there?
Not a soul.
Good morning, sir.
Bonjour.
Is there any sign of Lady Stubbs?
No, I do not believe so. Oh, Monsieur Hendon, tell to me, if you please. For how long a time have you been here, the butler?
Just over a 12-month, sir.
Bon. Merci.
There's an invitation from the Lord Lieutenant of the county.
Sir?
And Hodgson's written about the state of the milking sheds.
Damn the milking sheds to hell! Where is my wife? We just don't disappear, do they?
Utter fool! Wouldn't I have possessed him to marry her?
Eh bien, it has been a marriage unfortunate.
Disastrous. All she ever does is spend his money. Why, this year alone, she's bought 2 minks and a Russian ermine. He's such an innocent. And she's a sly, scheming, clever cat.
You say is and not was.
She isn't dead. She's gone off with another man. She likes men. She's already made a fool of Michael Wayman.
But Monsieur Wayman, he designs her tennis court.
Tennis? She wouldn't know a double fault from a fruitcake. Wayman tried it on and she gave him the heave-ho because she's found someone else, so he has too.
And if Monsieur Wayman no longer pursues Lady Stubbs, what is it about her that makes you so suspicious of her?
She meets someone on the sly, Poirot. She slips out of the house and into the woods. She was out the night before last. All that yawning and saying she's too tired for dinner. Half an hour later, she's slipping out by the kitchen door. She's an alley cat, Hattie Stubbs.
It's an unpleasant thing to have to face, but I'd say we've some kind of psychological lunatic wandering freely in Devon. He won't be local. Somerset, perhaps.
Peut-être. And therefore, a question, if you please. How is it possible for a strange man to have gained access into the boathouse?
Easy. She came out. She got bored. Girls do, trust me. The most likely thing is that Moline saw Hattie Stubbs being murdered, so she had to be disposed of too. Crush her windpipe, drag her back inside, flick the ale. Easy.
Oui. Sir George Stubbs believes that his wife, she is still alive?
Men will believe anything. Look, I like George Stubbs. He and his wife have done wonders for Nass. Amy Folliott has sponsored them, of course, and she has influence in the county. Why, there have been Folliotts here since Tudor times.
Always been Folliotts at Nass. Albert loves Doreen. Biddy Fox has a secret den. Oh, Marlene, Marlene. Alors she spies. Hey, she looks and she learns. But something it is not en point. Poiro, your brain, it is so slow.
Is it hers?
Let me see. Christ, it's a hat. Where is she? Where's my wife?
I don't think we'll find her here.
I tell you where you will find her, where you're too bloody stupid to have looked before.
And where's that, sir?
On that fellow's yacht, that Etienne de Souza. Damn coincidence, isn't it? I mean, he turns up and all bloody hell breaks loose.
But I've a warrant to search your vessel.
Do you think I'm hiding my little cousin on board?
I don't think anything, sir.
Rather as I suspected.
You have lost something, madam?
Oh, you made me jump. Yes, I have.
Or must one rendezvous when one can?
I don't know what you mean.
Poirot is not a husband, alas, but he knows that they can be jealous.
I doubt mine is. I hoped, when I came down here, that everything would get better. But it hasn't. Alex just... well... he's still Alec. I don't want to live like this.
No.
Have a look here, sir.
Got something?
Yes, sir. This is the jacket the gentleman was wearing yesterday. And look what I found in the pocket.
What is it?
It is the ring worn by Lady Stubbs at the time of disappearance. It matches Sir George's description.
How do you come to have this, Mr. de Souza?
I've no idea. I've never seen it before.
Well, maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but it's grounds enough for me to arrest you.
For what, may I ask? For being foreign?
For the murder of Harriet Stubbs.
For the... You have no proof at all. This is meant to be a civilized country.
We like to think so, sir. Hoskins.
Is this what you were looking for, madam?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Monsieur Poirot. I must have dropped it.
Wait.
We've got him, Poirot. Her ring is in the pocket of his blazer. With that and all the hearsay evidence, I reckon I can get a conviction.
For the murder of Lady Stubbs, whose body has never been found?
Well, it was dumped in the river. Floated out to sea. It'll turn up in time. No, I'm sure she was killed here at Nass. If I closed the roads, put a man at the key, checked all the buses and trains, there was never a sign of her. No, she was dumped in the river near where we found her hat. And Marlene Tucker saw it happening. So probably de Souza fixed her too.
It is not Etienne de Souza.
Why not?
How did he know where to find her when his boat? It had only just arrived. No. It does not make any sense. Bonjour, Monsieur Model.
Do we want the ferry, sir?
Non, merci. I return today to London.
Poor fella. Why must he do that?
Because Poaro, he has failed. Because Poaro is imbecile. Did Hattie Stubbs ask Mademoiselle Bruce to take the jam tarts to Marlene Tucker in the boathouse? If not, why does she say that she did? Is it possible that Mademoiselle Bruce found Marlene Tucker already dead? In which case, why does she not report this? She is a woman most sensible.
Unless she killed her, of course.
No, pas de motif. Why did Etienne de Souza lie about writing to his cousin 3 weeks before his arrival at Nass House? Is it perhaps an attempt to make his visit to appear natural or expected? Certainement, Sir George receives him amicably, although he does not know him. Attendez. Sir George does not know Etienne de Souza, huh? But his wife, who does know him, does not see him. So is it conceivable that the Etienne de Souza who arrives at the fete is not the real Etienne de Souza?
When is his trial?
3 weeks. Now the jury will take one look at de Souza and they will convict him. This man will hang.
Usually the villain's the husband.
Mais je sais. This husband, he has the alibi. There are 200 people willing to testify that Sir George, he never left the fete. But there is someone who knows what happened to Hattie Stubbs.
You think the body's still there?
It appears that she's been thrown into the river, but it is possible that she is in the grounds.
There isn't a priest's hole or anything like that, is there?
No, I asked this question to Monsieur Michael Wayman. He tells to me that the house is not of the correct period for this.
All the same, there might be something in the structure that only the family know about.
But the only member of the family who is left is Madame Folliard.
Well, she knows everything there is to know about Nass, doesn't she?
It is a true thing that you say. She knows everything. For example, she knows straight away that Hattie Stubbs is dead. She knows, even before the death of Marlene Tucker, that the world, it is a place most wicked. What is there that she does not know? Monsieur Legge? You are leaving Nass House?
Yes. Sally's cleared out.
No.
With that bastard Wayman.
I do not think she will be as happy with him as she would be with you.
You think so, do you?
Yes, I do, monsieur. And shall I tell you what else I think? I think that your opinions so extreme have made you impossible to live with. Your wife, Sally Legg, she is a woman of loyalty, but you have pushed her too hard, monsieur. You are a man who is very lonely, very desperate. And if you had told your wife, Madame Sally, just how you were so lonely and how you were so desperate, she would never have left you for Michael Wayman.
You don't know how right you are.
Wait.
I've been an absolute dummy.
Wait.
It's politics, eh, Poaро? It's hardly worth losing your wife for.
No, I do not think they are, monsieur. No.
What should I do?
I think what you should do, monsieur, is to find Madame Sally, but immediately. Ask her to forgive you and beg her to come back. And Hercule Poirot, he is always right, monsieur.
Do you know, I think I will.
Bon.
And I'll go to the bloody Chelsea Arts Club, and I'll get hold of Michael Wayman, and I'll throttle the ponce with his ridiculous tie.
Bon. And if you please, Monsieur Legg, do not actually kill him, huh? Bonjour, madame.
I feel very sorry for George. The strain has been very great.
So George still believes that his wife, she is alive.
I think he's given up hope. He does not say so, but... Of course, I've hardly seen him lately. He spends most of his time in London. He's drinking too much. I am very tired, Monsieur Poirot. I have not much to live for.
But you have your home.
Monsieur, I am grateful to George Stubbs for renting me the lodge, but I do rent it. I pay him a yearly sum for it, with a right to walk in the grounds. The grounds of my ancestral home.
Oh, je suis désolé, madame. I do not mean to offend. I mean only to say that this is a place so beautiful. It is, in fact, one of the most beautiful places I have seen in England. It has about it the great peace and the great serenity.
Yes.
But is there still the same peace and serenity now, madame?
Why shouldn't there be?
Because the murder, it is gone unavenged, and blood, it has been spilled. And here is the smell of it, the reek of it, drifting across the lawn on the breeze.
I think that is quite enough.
Madame, until the curse is lifted, there will be no peace at Mass. You know this is true. And you know a great deal, perhaps everything about the murder. You know who killed the girl. You know why. You know who killed Hattie Stubbs. And you know perhaps where the body it now lies.
I have only my suspicions. And to speak out on mere suspicion would be wrong. Wicked.
As wicked as what was done here, it is now since 5 weeks. As wicked as the killing of a girl who is only 14 years of age.
Don't talk about it. It's over and done. It's finished.
No, madame, it is never finished with a murder. Jamais. Mademoiselle, where is Monsieur Medel?
Grandad? He's dead.
Grandad? So Monsieur Medel was your grandfather? Hello, your grandfather, he was very old, huh?
He didn't die because he was old. He died because he was drunk. He slipped when getting off the boat one night and fell in. Washed up 2 days later at Helmouth.
How do you call yourself?
Gertie Tucker.
A relation to Marlene Tucker?
Her was my sister.
So Monsieur Medel was her grandfather also?
He got cross at her when she got the makeup.
The makeup, Gertie?
Loads of lipstick she had. And scent. Hid him in her nickel drawer. Lovely they was.
Tell to me, Gertie, how did Marlene get the money to buy these things?
Heard see goings on in the woods. Marlene will promise not to tell, and they give her money.
But who would give her money? At last, Poirot, he begins to see.
Come at once. Nass House, Devon. Mais pourquoi?
Because it is important, madame.
I should hope so. I was due to give a talk. That's why I'm dressed in this ridiculous outfit. Instead, I ran for the express train.
What was the subject of your talk?
My writing. Awfully pleased not to have to give it as a matter of fact. I mean, what does one say about how one writes books? You just think of an idea and force yourself to write it. What am I going to say for the other 59 minutes?
Madame, your hat. C'est magnifique.
Oh, thank you. It's jolly expensive. Hats are really a symbol nowadays, aren't they? They don't keep your head warm or shield you from the sun or hide your face from people you don't want to meet. I mean, they're just ornamental.
Always you give to me the ideas. Tell to me, madame, in your murder hunt, you have as one of your suspects a biochemist. Do you know a biochemist personally?
Yes, I know Alec Legg.
And you also know his wife, Sally Legg. But she is not Yugoslavian, is she? So what gives to you the idea of having a wife who is Yugoslavian for the victim?
Oh, I don't know, all those youth hostelers, perhaps. All those gals in shorts.
But, madame, I am most interested in how you write. You are a woman who is most sensitive. You are affected by the atmosphere, by the personalities that surround you. These are the inspirations for your brain that is so fertile. So tell to me, madame, when you first designed your murder hunt, did you intend for the body to be discovered in the boathouse?
No, I did not. I intended it to be found in that pavilion, tucked away among the rhododendrons. But then someone, I can't remember who, began insisting it should be found in the folly. Well, that was obviously bonkers. I mean, anyone could have strolled in there quite casually. I couldn't agree to that.
No. So you accepted the boathouse instead. And that was the technique that you described to me on that first day. The jockeying along. One last thing, madame. Do you remember telling me that there was a final clue on one of the comics that was given to Marlene Tucker to read? Was it something like Biddy Fox has a secret den?
Good gracious me, no. Nothing silly like that. No, it was a perfectly straightforward clue. Look in the hiker's rucksack.
Épatant. The comic on which that was written would have to be taken away.
Why?
Because immediately it points to the murderer. Inspector Bland, you must telephone to Scotland Yard tout de suite.
Why?
Because Etienne de Souza, he is innocent. No, he is a man of great wealth.
So what?
So, what is his motive? Let me put to you the facts.
Facts? What facts?
The fact that old John Murdell was the grandfather of Marlene Tucker. The fact that Lady Stubbs always wore those particular types of floppy hat. The fact that Marlene Tucker had cosmetics hidden in the back of her drawer. And the fact that Mademoiselle Bruce maintains it was Lady Stubbs who asked her to take refreshments to the boathouse.
You call those facts, do you, in London?
You prefer the hard evidence, such as the body of Lady Stubbs? Hello, I know where it is hidden and who hid it there. So if you please, to make that telephone call to Scotland Yard.
Why did you ask me to come here?
I think that you know, madame.
Good evening, sir.
There have now been 3 murders. Hattie Stubbs, Marlene Tucker, and John Murdell.
Myrtle? That was an accident. He fell from the quayside. He was drunk.
No, it was not an accident, madame. He knew too much. He knew all about the Folliot family. He knew about your husband. He knew about your 2 sons who died abroad. Only they did not, did they? Henry was indeed killed in action on the northwest frontier, but James... No, he did not die as you said. James, who was so brilliant, so wild. James, who was also to you so shaming. John Model told me of him, madame, and the records have been checked. What did he do to that young dairymaid when he was only 14 years of age?
You know.
Right. And where did you send him, madame?
South Africa.
When? You said you never saw him again. You heard that he had died in an aeroplane crash. You mourned, you said your prayers, but... What then has happened, madame?
He came back.
Why? Because your son, he made a pretense of his own death. And then you learned that he is pursued by the police in several countries. And you agree, and he must have been so persuasive, you agree to give him one more chance.
Just one.
I believe that you are a woman most sincere and most moral. And I believe that it was from the best of your intentions that you did everything you could to give to your son, who was wayward, a new life. At that time, you had in your charge a young girl who was sadly subnormal. Oh, but she was rich, huh? So rich. She was worth a fortune. But you gave it out that her parents had lost all their money, and you were advising her to marry a man who was wealthy and several years older than herself. And who could disbelieve you? Your lawyers in Paris, where you were living at that time, handled everything. And Hattie Stubbs, when she came of age, would sign whatever you put in front of her. And so in the end, Sir George Stubbs, the new identity assumed by your son James, became a man who was very rich, rich enough to buy Nass House. And there your plans, they ended, eh, madame? Your son, he was a wealthy man. He had his ancestral home. And Hattie Stubbs, well, you could take care of her. Ça marche!
I never dreamed.
No, you never dreamed that your son, James, he was already married. He was married to a girl he met in Trieste. A girl of the criminal underworld who is determined not to be parted from your son.
He's a wicked, wicked creature.
But your Hattie knew no one in England.
Good evening, Hattie. Come along, my dear.
When they arrived back at Nass House after their marriage, all of the servants who were new, including the butler, barely caught sight of her that first evening. And the following morning, the woman that they met was not Hattie Stubbs, no, but this Italian. Made up to look like Hattie, behaving as Hattie, but Hattie, the real Hattie, was dead. She was killed the first evening she arrived here by your son. Oui, by your son, madame. James Folliat. This plan, it was so clever. The false Hattie Stubbs over the years would respond to treatment. She would get better and better and make the full recovery. But this Italian did not convince Mademoiselle Bruce.
I have a headache!
Who was herself in love with Sir George. But then something unforeseen occurs. A cousin of Hattie, Etienne de Souza, writes to her a telegram.
Oh, no.
Telling her that he is visiting England on a yachting trip.
Is it, darling?
Alors, he would not be deceived by an impostor. Ain't it strange, is it not? That although the thought it did cross my mind that this Etienne de Souza may not be Etienne de Souza, it never occurred to Poaro that Hattie Stubbs was not Hattie Stubbs. And there was a further complication. John Model used to... what is the word? Chatter to his granddaughter, Marlene Tucker.
If someone leaves a woman's body in the woods with no clothes on, he's liable to be a sex maniac, isn't he?
Well, nobody else would listen to him because they thought he was a little daft. But he told to his granddaughter, Marlene, that Sir George was in fact Master James. Alors, Marlene Tucker, she blackmails Sir George for her silence. But in so doing, she signs her death warrant. They arrange it so that Marlene Tucker is killed and Hattie Stubbs goes missing. In such a way, the suspicion it is thrown onto her cousin Etienne de Souza. Hence the references to him being a man most wicked.
Delighted to meet you at last.
And Sir George, he plants the evidence. This Lady Stubbs was to disappear permanently. After a period of mourning, Sir George would rejoin her in Italy, where they would again be married. All that was necessary for her now was to double the parts for a little more than a period of 24 hours. When Hercule Poirot he arrives, Hattie Stubbs takes the bus to Exeter.
Afternoon, lady.
And travel back in the company of a youth hosteler she meets on the train.
You don't mind, do you, sir?
She books into the hostel with this Dutch girl. But by tea time, she is here, back at her window. After dinner, she retires early to bed.
I feel strange.
But Mademoiselle Bruce sees her to slip out of the back door. She spends the night in the youth hostel, returns to Nass for breakfast, after which she spends the rest of the morning in her room with her headache. She then stages her appearance as a trespasser.
You can't come through here.
Sir George shouts to her from the window of his wife.
What's her, Hattie?
He turns and even pretends to speak to her inside. She is not there. No one would ever dream that these two women were the same person, and no one did. And so the final act of this drama, it is staged. A little before 4 o'clock on the day of the fete, Hattie Stubbs tells to Mademoiselle Bruce to take the jam tarts to Marlene. Now, she does this because she is afraid that Mademoiselle Bruce may do this independently, and that would be fatal to their plans. She slips into the tent of the fortune teller while Sally Legg is out, as she has a secret rendezvous with Michael Wayman. She goes through the back into the pavilion, where she changes into the costume of a hiker, which she kept in her rucksack. Poirot, he has found the buckle from the strap. And that is why the pavilion was not used for the murder hunt. She then goes down to the boathouse and calls to Marlene to let her in. And she strangles her. She leaves her big floppy hat by the riverside and hastily joins her Dutch friend on the lawn. A little before 5, they take the bus to Torquay, and a little after 5, the police, they arrive. Where she is now, I do not know, but I am convinced that the police, they will find her. Remember, madame, that before they were not looking for an Italian confidence trickster, no. They were looking for Hattie. Simple, subnormal, and dead. And this you have always known, madame. You revealed your knowledge to me when you spoke to me in the dining room on the evening of the fete. You revealed most clearly, although Poirot, he did not see it at the time, that when speaking of Hattie Stubbs...
I shouldn't pay too much attention to the things Hattie says.
You were speaking of two different people.
Hattie was a gentle, warm-hearted girl. She would never have killed anyone, never.
There remain one problem to be dealt with. The man who knew the truth about your son, John Murdell. His death is made to look like an accident, as if he had fallen into the water while he was drunk. But in fact, it was murder, madame. Murder committed by your son, James Folliot. Hello, if you please to come with me, madame. It is a good place to bury a body. A tree, it is uprooted in a storm. The soil, it is disturbed. And very soon, a young lady, she is covered with concrete. And on the concrete, a folly, it is built. The folly of the owner of Nass.
Monsieur Poirot, I will face my punishment, I assure you of that. But before I do, will you give me a few moments with my son? As a courtesy to an old lady.
As a courtesy from an old gentleman, madame. I will allow it.
Bless you.
Right, let's bring in Sir George.
If you please to wait. I have allowed to Madame Folliot a few moments.
You've no authority to do that.
Dommage. It is done.
Mother. And what are you doing here?
They're digging up the folly. You know what they will find.
Bloody good scheme. Almost worked.
It was like every one of your schemes. It was cruel and criminal, and it failed. You have brought disgrace to the family name, the name of Folliot.
Dear God. What am I to do?
You will do, James, exactly what I tell you. For once, just for once, you will obey your mother.
What put you onto them? Intuition, perhaps?
No, madame. The deduction. When old John Murdell told to me there will always be Folliots at Nass, it was his little private joke. And Poirot, he has realized this very late. You see, madame, he knew. So now will you release de Souza?
Yes, all right. Time's up, come on.